Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. It's Saturday night, and you know what that means. It's time for your AEW Collision Event Center Wrestling Report. Now, here's the man to give you that report, Mr. Eric M. Lima.
Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. And this is episode 1559 of the show. Glad to have you here, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful day. We just got done talking about TNA Slammiversary Event Center, but now we are going to talk about what happened on AEW Collision. So we'll talk about what happened last night on AEW Collision. Darby Allin went up against the man formerly known as Black Taurus, the Beast Mortos, and Darby Allin the match. And he addresses the Arlington crowd about blood and guts, and addresses Jack Perry and issues a challenge to him for the TNT Championship, held by Jack Perry himself. The Acclaimed addresses blood and guts, and Billy Gunn decided to straighten the boys out. In this case, he said, you're not Mr. Scissor Me Timbers, and you're not just a rapper. You need to go out and prove to probably you're the best. And then Mike Scaster goes, I get it, and Anthony Bones is kind of puzzled about it, and they both agreed. We got to get it done. We got to get it done. And Hikaru Shida went one-on-one with Sky Blue. Now, Sky Blue did issue the challenge, but unfortunately, during the matchup, when Hikaru Shida did like a high cross body over the ropes, Sky Blue hurt her ankle, and they had to stop the matchup. So due to referee stoppage, the winner of the matchup, Hikaru Shida. So, Hikaru Shida. Lance Archer decided to attack people backstage and send a message to the AEW roster. Yeah, if I were anybody in the AEW roster, I would behave ourselves, especially the Elite. And he says everyone dies. That's the deal. Tony Nosh decided to run his mouth against the Arlington crowd before his matchup. It was an open challenge. But before that, Chris Jericho addresses Minoru Suzuki, which the Learning Tree will face the Murder Grandpa for the FTW title at Blood and Guts this coming Wednesday. That being said, excuse me. And Tony Nese decided, like I said again, run down the Arlington crowd before his matchup. Ray Phoenix took the challenge as he went one-on-one with Tony Nese. And as you know, the Premier Athletes, along with that idiot Smart Sterling, wants to do whatever it takes to win the championship, win the matchup, I should say. No championship was on the line, because neither man had a championship. But Ray Phoenix, thanks to Alex Abrahantes, who basically has extra eyes and ears, wins the matchup. Wins the matchup for sure. Tony Schiavone interviewed FTR, and FTR addresses about all the problems they went through, and he said that too many we were on the right track until a lot of distractions happened. Cash Wheeler admitted his faults and everything else, but now, as they said, they're back on the right track, and they're going to be wanting a shot at the AEW Tag Team titles down the road. That's going to be a huge deal for FTR. FTR, one of the best teams ever. I mean, Dax Howard had a great moment for his birthday, having Bret the Hitman Hart celebrate with him. I thought that was really super cool. If you saw his Instagram post, you know what I mean. Lexi Nair interviewed Sheeta, and Sheeta is sick and tired. She wants competition. And so she has challenged Britt Baker to a match of Blood and Guts. And I'll tell you one thing, Hikaru Shida has no love lost for Britt Baker. Is Hikaru Shida developing a new attitude? If that's the case, this could help her go straight to the top. Remember, the women's division is getting really vicious. Sky Blue had that momentum until that injured ankle derailed her. That momentum. She would have been one of the biggest threats. We still have Julia Hart on the shelf though, but you got Mercedes Moné. I'm sure Shida wants a shot at the TBS title. So challenging Britt Baker, a victory over Britt Baker could put her in line for that title shot. So we shall see. You still got Saraya, Harley Cameron starting to come around, and hopefully she'll pick up some victories, string of victories to challenge for a championship. You got Timeless Toni Storm, women's world champion. Right now, she's got Mariah May breathing down her neck in more ways than one, unfortunately. But I'm sure Mariah May, with a new glamorous look, I think a lot of mind games will be played between her and Timeless Toni Storm. Watch out for the women's division in AEW, starting to come on strong. Speaking of strong, Tomohiro Ishii, the newest member of the conglomerate that will be consisting of Kyle O'Reilly, Orange Cassidy, and Ring of Honor World Champ Mark Briscoe, going against the Undisputed Kingdom's Roderick Strong. And the Roderick Strong ended up picking up the victory. And the Undisputed Kingdom decided to beat up Ishii after the matchup, but Mark Briscoe and Kyle O'Reilly chased them off. The debuting hologram, who was formerly known as Aramis, I believe in AAA, he decided to give him a new name. This guy's got moves. This guy's got serious moves, serious skill. He took on the indie legend Gringo Loco, and Hologram did pick up the victory. And Dustin Rhodes and Karen Von Erich were talking with the Von Erichs. It seems like to me, Dustin Rhodes and the Von Erichs are now a trios team. So whoever wins in the trios matchup between the Patriarchy and the Bang Bang Gang later last night, gotta watch their backs because Dustin Rhodes and the Von Erichs, Marshall and Russ Von Erich, watch out. So Mark Briscoe dresses Roderick Strong in that blood and guts. And heck of a matchup that was. Heck of a matchup that's going to be. Briscoe and Roderick Strong. Roderick Strong, I think the world title. Well, I think Strong has held it before, I think, but we'll see what happens. The Lumberjack match, or a Lumberjoe match, if you're thinking about it, Thunder Rosa went one-on-one with Deonna Purrazzo. People like Rachel Ellering, Legit Layla Hirsch, Red Velvet, Abaddon, Lady Frost, a lot of ladies that were there. And during the matchup, while everybody's fighting and brawling, the ladies are all fighting and brawling, referees distracted, Taya Valkyrie, who was one of the Lumberjacks, handed Deonna Purrazzo one of those ring wrenches where you turn the buckles and all that. Nails Thunder Rosa with it, and Deonna Purrazzo picked up the victory. I don't think this is over by a long shot. I think once Thunder Rosa checks the footage out, she'll know what's up. But then the matchup to crown a undisputed AEW World Trios champions, the Bang Bang Gang, consists of the Guns, and I'm not talking about the Smoking Guns, I'm talking about the sons of Billy Gunn, Austin and Colton Gunn, teaming up with Juice Robinson, going up against the Patriarchy. That'll be Christian Cage, Killswitch, and Nick Wayne, accompanied by Shayna Wayne, a.k.a. Mother Wayne. The matchup was getting crazy, and it got to the point where the Patriarchy decided to do a lot of cheating, and in this case, Shayna Wayne, in fact, Juice Robinson had the match in hand until Shayna Wayne decides to show up, decides to spray something, a little spray in Juice Robinson's face during the matchup, and then the Patriarchy capitalized on it, and the Patriarchy picked up the victory. And, ladies and gentlemen, your new AEW Trios champions, the Patriarchy. But the lights were flickering on and off during their celebration. The House of Black's watching, boys, and I think that's what's going to lead to. The House of Black may be reunited when Buddy Matthews gets back from his injury. And I'll tell you what, the Patriarchy has made a big mistake cheating to get those titles. The House of Black, Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews. They're waiting in the wings. They're coming after you, Patriarchy. And believe me, Christian Cage probably won't talk about dead fathers any longer. They're going to be talking about a dead title reign. But we shall see when the House of Black get their hands on the Patriarchy. Well, that's all the time we have on this show, episode 1559 of Eric Lima Shenanigans in 1977, AEW Collision Event Center for the 20th of July. Thank you for tuning in, and until the next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, take us home.
That is all for today's episode. This is your announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E, doing for Bob Saget Productions, and in association with a Raven Bofa Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching today's episode. Tune in next time for another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. Goodbye for now.